And as travelers deal with crowded airports and busy roads yet again, they may also be faced with another hurdle, a lack of COVID-19 testing.
And joining us now with more on that, holiday travel insight amid the pandemic, Washington Post correspondent Natalie Compton. Natalie, thanks for being with us tonight. So the experts and a story that you wrote earlier in the month that predicted a shortage of COVID tests, is that bearing out now, and what's been the effect?
It's been interesting to see how this plays out. As you just said, COVID cases are different in a lot of different ways and across the country. So will a COVID test not be available in your local CVS or Walgreens is really dependent on where you live. What experts have said is, yes, we are experiencing a shortage. That's if you want to get an over-the-counter test. But if you want to go to a place, make an appointment at a pharmacy or a doctor's office, that should be fine, and you should be able to get a test that way.
Is it wise to just, if you see one, just pick it up just in case? And how reliable are those tests?
Absolutely. What one expert was telling me is that COVID tests have become the new toilet paper in terms of pandemic purchases. So if you do see one, don't buy the whole shelf of them because other people will need them as well. But if you see one, grab a box. Usually they come in two. And what health experts have told me is that these are great if you are already experiencing symptoms. Those rapid tests will be able to say, do you have COVID right this second? Are they 100%? No, but it's a great test if you wake up on Thanksgiving morning, you have a scratchy throat. Is this the first line of defense? Yes. Check that box and then decide your next move.
So, Natalie, for many people, this is the first time traveling since the pandemic started here, very different from last Thanksgiving. Remind everybody when you would actually need to present a COVID test, and then we'll get to the vaccination. But when do you need to actually have a test if you're traveling?
Sure. For the most part, if you're traveling domestic, you don't need to have any testing unless you're going to Hawaii. That's the really only the United States one that you really need to pay attention to. Otherwise, if you're going to a Georgia, a San Francisco, wherever, you're not going to need those tests. Vaccination cards, that's different depending on where you're going. Some businesses, as in San Francisco or New York City, are going to ask you to present your vaccine card to get into an establishment. And some businesses have taken it upon themselves to do that, whether or not it's mandated by a place. So it's a good idea to have your vaccination card on you or have a picture of it on your phone to prove to some businesses.
We've been dealing with the COVID-19 virus for 2 years now. You'd think we know how to wrangle this together, but how are things going to be different this year from the last 2 years?
It's going to be very different for travelers because when you're going to the airport now, we're looking at double, triple the numbers who were traveling last Thanksgiving or last holiday season, but we're still not exactly to the same numbers as 2019 projected. So right now, are you going to experience crowds if you're traveling for Thanksgiving? Yes, likely. As the people were saying earlier, you are going to want to get to the airport early. There are chances that you get there and it's slow and easy and fine, but a lot of people are already experiencing some pretty intense lines. So everybody's saying, do yourself a favor, get there early so you don't have to be panicking, trying to cut people in the security line. And if you are trying to cut the line in a legitimate way, you're too late to apply for TSA PreCheck, but you can get clear pretty fast, and that's in a lot of the major airports across the country. So that is a good way to kind of be able to finagle your way through line a little faster.
You know, getting through the holidays is one thing, and then when we maybe get past that and then maybe travel again for Christmas here, back to the COVID tests. The Biden administration said it was going to purchase a bunch of them to not only fill the market, but also bring down the price. Do you have any timetable or timeline on where things stand there?
Companies are ramping up production, but a lot of people are going to be needing a lot more tests. So we're still kind of seeing how that's going to play out in whether or not it's going to be impossible for normal people to get a test if all of these workplaces are requiring them. At this time, no one is firing off any alarms being like, no normal person's going to be able to get a test if you need to travel abroad or when you're coming back into the United States to get a test. At this point, it's nothing that people are saying this is a big disaster. I think people will still be able to get tests to travel.
As Ray mentioned, let's talk a little bit about vaccinations. A lot of people vaccinated, 58% of the U.S. What about those who don't want to get vaccinated but are still traveling?
There are options depending on where you're going, what that will look like. First and foremost, what health experts say is it's really not safe to be traveling if you're not vaccinated. So if you can, get vaccinated. Otherwise, if you're going to certain destinations abroad, you will have to do things like COVID testing. You might have to quarantine when you get there. Your life is going to be more difficult because a lot of places want to know that the people who are coming are immunized. So if you're not, you're going to have to do a lot of testing. And then within the United States, most places don't require vaccination. So if you were going to try to go to some places in New York City or San Francisco, these places that require vaccination to get into an establishment, you're going to need to provide COVID tests that are usually taken within 72 hours so they know they're sort of up to date, as up to date as possible.
You know, it has been a slow build up to where we are in terms of travel back at the airports. This is going to be the very biggest test we've had in more than a year and a half here. How is the TSA? How are their agents prepared to handle the an onslaught that we haven't seen in a long time?
TSA, since the summer, has been ramping up their number of employees. They always know that times like Thanksgiving are going to be busier, so they already have more seasonal travelers than in other periods of the year. So TSA is doing their part by trying to hire more people, opening more security lines. They're doing their best. They can hope that they can handle the numbers of people who are traveling. The good news is that because a lot of people can work remote, we're hoping that the travel period kind of spreads out as far as how many people are traveling on certain days. Yes, we're still expecting Wednesday to be a really big day, Sunday, Saturday. Those are all going to be very crowded, but people are leaving for their holidays a lot earlier this year because they have that flexibility in where they work. So we'll see how things go in security line, but I think everybody needs to go into airports this year very patient. Go in with kindness, as cheesy as that sounds, because stress levels are very high at the airport normally, but this year with mask mandates and people feeling very tense about returning to travel, people are on edge. So if you go in knowing that it might be bristly, maybe you'll have a better time.
Washington Post correspondent Natalie Compton, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Take care.